What is good? What is up? It's Jordan, or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another live stream. Good to see y'all. Sorry I missed last week, but we are back. How is everyone doing in the chat? We got Jay, we got Ryan, we got George. That's right. The team leaders are here. They are representing. Respect to y'all. Appreciate it. And we'll get to hear from y'all later in the stream. And that will be very exciting. But I hope everyone's having a good week. And I hope y'all have checked out latest video on the channel. I talked about, Jaleel Johnson and DeMarcus Walker, two defensive tackles on the team. Next video on the competition casserole series that I've been making. So the mic is crisp. We're all good. How's the audio? I know last time it was a little too quiet. Hopefully it's better now. But yeah, check out the video if you want to learn more about Jaleel Johnson, about DeMarcus Walker, what they can bring to the team, what type of roles that they're going to play. Just a quick overview, more in the video obviously, but Jaleel Johnson, more of your run stuffing defensive tackle. I think you can play a 3-tech. And DeMarcus Walker he's listed at a defensive end, but he's actually more of a defensive tackle. He's kind of your sub package interior rusher guy. So that's what you can expect from them. Check out the video if you want more. How you doing, Willie Boy P? Pokemon, James. What's good? What's good? I've had a pretty good week, pretty chill week. Summer's been good. Just been doing my scouting course, and yeah, that's been keeping me busy, man. Sounds good here. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad. I don't know what happened last video. I didn't change nothing this video, but I guess we're doing good. Perfect. All right, we got a lot to get through today. Beige is in the building. What's good? How you doing, my guy? We got a lot to go through. I got a lot of things on my list here because the Texans, it hasn't been the busiest offseason, but I feel like there's a lot of things I can catch us up on. It's been 2 weeks. Yes, sir. Jay says it right. If you like the content, join the Texans Thoughts family. Links in the description. If you want to join the team, you get different perks. You get to join our exclusive Discord, exclusive monthly videos. You can call into the stream if you become a leader, that highest tier. But yeah. All right, let's get into it. Talked about the Jaleel Johnson and DeMarcus Walker vid. Check it out on the channel if you haven't. I want to start it off with a appreciation for a Texans legend who did retire today. Jonathan Joseph, J-Joe, the man himself. Best free agent signing in Texans history. Best cornerback in Texans history. Top probably 3 defender in Texans history. Top 5-7 Texan overall. Where does Jonathan Joseph rank for you guys in terms of top Texans? I think for me, it's like top 7. I think that's pretty fair to say. The guy has always had an underrated impact for us as a team. And just kind of his career overall in the NFL, always one of the most underappreciated cornerbacks. I believe he's tied for second. He's only behind Richard Sherman in interceptions in terms of like active cornerbacks. I guess active now, he retired, but he had like 32 and Richard Sherman had 35. So this man, I mean, he has the stats, he has the production, right? Like the personality, like everything, man. This dude's a great guy, but what does he rank for y'all? Where does he rank for y'all in terms of top 5, top 7, top 10? Maybe you hate him. Maybe you don't even think he's in top 10. I want to hear from y'all. Top 7 is fair, Beige says. 32 picks, right, Ryan? God damn. God damn. For me, he's probably 7. I think it's probably, like, I don't think you can put him above guys like Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt, Nuke, Dwayne Brown, Arian Foster. So then like right after that, him, Cushing, that's probably right where he belongs, I think. But great man, great player. I think it sucks that he kind of ended his career with the Titans and I guess the Cardinals, but not really. Maybe he could, I guess he's not going to sign. It would be cool if he signed with the Texans for one day and retired with us, but it is what it is. Hopefully he can return to the Texans somehow, and maybe it's in a role of a coaching position. I think J-Joe, I mean, when you think of him and who he was as a player, how he succeeded as a player, maybe he wasn't always the most athletic guy, but he was always so damn smart. He knew what that offense was doing, and so that football knowledge, it's going to translate to a coaching position because he's got the football IQ. He's got like the technique down. And so just imagine having that as a secondary coach, man. Whew, we could use that for sure. Chris says Mario Williams is up there as well. Yeah, I think between Cushing, Mario Williams, and Jonathan Joseph, very, very close between those 3. I agree with you. But yes, thank you to J-Joe. Great career. He'll be in the Texans Ring of Honor? Yeah, I believe so, right? That's the official word for it. All right, what else do I want to talk about? Phillip Lindsay. I want to talk about Phillip Lindsay. I think Phillip Lindsay, man, is probably the most surprising free agent that the Texans were able to get. I didn't think we'd be able to get a guy of his caliber. I ain't gonna lie. But he saw an opportunity where he can be kind of the starting running back with us. And it seems like he's trying to take that opportunity and run with it, man. Listening to his press conference the other day, he's talked about how he's come in at, amazing shape and lighter than he played last season. And I think that point is important because last season he tried to bulk up when he was with the Broncos, and that kind of hurt him more than it helped him, because when you bulk up, it's not always beneficial to everyone, because you have to add 5, 10, 15 pounds, but it has to be sustainable weight. And sometimes you're not used to playing at a higher weight. And so he dealt with some lingering, some nagging injuries last year because of that added weight. Now that he's down to where he's been playing at his entire career, where he's been successful for his entire career, I think we'll see a bounce back season from Phillip Lindsay in terms of the things that he can control as a running back. Obviously, as a running back, so much of your success is tied to the offensive line, so let's see how the offensive line does. But I think Lindsay can have a big season for us. Put it in the chat if you're a big Lindsay believer. Put it in the chat what your stat kind of predictions are for him. I think it's tough this early, especially when we don't know exactly the running back rotation. But I think he's gonna get like just under 1,000 yards, just because we're gonna be running a big time rotation with David Johnson, Ingram, maybe Scotty Phillips or someone like that surprises. But I think it'll be like around 1,000 to just under 1,000 rushing yards, and then maybe 200-300 passing yards. He'll probably have maybe 6 rushing yards and like 2 receiving touchdowns. Does that feel like realistic? I feel like that's roughly realistic. Lindsay being excited is here. Lindsay being excited about being here is something to be excited for. I agree with you. Shaquille agrees. He's better. Hopefully he will be the lead back. I think he will. I think in terms of splitting carries, it's probably going to go 40% to Lindsay, and then 25 David Johnson, Mark Ingram. Maybe David Johnson gets a little bit more, but Lindsay should definitely be the lead back in that regard. I agree with you. All right, Ryan has his prediction in. He says 800 rushing yards a minimum, depending on the offensive line, and then 200 passing yards. Okay, so you're roughly in line with me. I like it. I'm hoping for big things, man. Phillip Lindsay is still relatively young. How old is he again? He's like 26, 27, right? So hopefully we can... He's 26. Yeah, 26 years old. So in terms of running back, man, he's still got a good 3 years in him. And so if we can sign him to like a 2-year deal after this season, man, that would be perfect. We showed that we're a team to believe in his skills, to treat him right, and we'll reward him for that if he does ball out. So I think that's the plan for Phillip Lindsay. All right, Jerome. Thank you, my guy, for the $7. He says all the players here said the culture is a huge reason why they came to Houston. Interesting. I agree with you, Jerome. I agree, that is interesting. Now, what some skeptics might say is that, oh, that's what the Texans PR people and the coaches, that's what they're brainwashing these players to say. That's what the skeptics would say, and who knows?
Yeah. Cool guys don't look at explosions. They blow things up and then walk away.
Love that song.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another one.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. They blow things up and then walk away.
God damn, we got the donation train. It's rolling in. Thank you, Jerome, for the 7. Thank you, Willie, for the 5. Let me finish my point on Jerome, and then we'll get to you, Willie. You gotta wait your turn. I appreciate it, though. Thank you, my guy. Yeah, but I think that probably plays a little part of it, but I think also at the same time, I think these players, as a player, culture is so important to you, and like the teammate camaraderie. So I think when you have all these guys who are signing these 1-year prove-it deals, who maybe they're not coming off of a career year, but they all want to prove themselves. They're all hungry to make that bread, to earn another contract. I think that in itself fosters its own culture. And so They all want to play their best ball and play their best ball for their teammates so that they can ball out as well together, because at the end of the day, football is a team sport. I mean, you can't do it all yourself. And so I think that's where we're going to see the culture come through best. Willie Boy P, $5. Thank you, my guy. He says Lindsay knows what it feels like to be bet against, and that energy on this team will be special. No more Deshaun Dono. Hey, we had to cancel that one, man. We had to cancel that one. Oh man. Yeah, Lindsay, I know one of his, it's either, believe it's his aunt or it's either his mom, but she's followed me on Twitter and I've seen a lot of her tweets, that they did Philip wrong in Denver. And that really sucks, man. It really sucks to be done dirty by an organization. A lot of these organizations, they got to think about themselves first. They got to put themselves before the players, and it sucks. And so Philip, he's definitely one of the main guys who are motivated to ball out. And when you're a running back, motivation and effort is a big part of your success. You know, if you're motivated to run hard, you're motivated to tack on extra yards, whether that's juking someone out, you know, making that extra effort to put another spin move on a defender, to break another tackle, to really concentrate on that touchdown catch. I think it's huge. I think it's definitely huge. Josh says, forget Deshaun Watson. Hey, man, we might have to pretty soon. Pokemon got to catch me all. He says, some people are saying Mills is throwing better than Taylor. Your thoughts? I don't know. I ain't there. I wish I was there to see it with my own eyes. But it would be hard for me to believe that a rookie quarterback who has limited experience in college is throwing better than a 7 to 10 year veteran quarterback who has been doing this for years. It would be surprising. It would be surprising to me. That's all I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. I hope he is. I mean, I want the best for Mills, but it would be surprising to me that he'd throw him better than Tyrod. Chris says, Cully the culture setter. I'm good with him for the next few years. Goddamn, he's likable as fuck after O'Brien. If not, just in general. One thing I will give David Culley, that dude is a likable MF dude. He's a likable MF dude. He's just this little teddy bear. You watch him talk. He's so ecstatic. He's so happy about being the head coach for this team. It's hard not to like him. You know, he's always smiling. He's always happy. But at the end of the day, I want a coach that's actually going to get me results. Right? So I hope we can see that, man. Buffa Man says, you should start a Madden franchise and get the Texans to a Super Bowl. That's actually something I really want to do. I got to figure out, though, if I'm going to get a PS4 or I get my Xbox sent here. I didn't bring my Xbox over, man, but most of y'all are on PS4. Y'all PS4 or y'all Xbox? Because I might just have to cop a PS4 and get into that. Because I really do want to make Madden content with y'all. I want to make videos about stuff like that, like rebuilding the Texans, doing like connected franchise modes with y'all so we can play in the league together, doing like fantasy draft stuff like that. I think it'll be fun, man. Josh says, let's get Rattler. Tank for Rattler. Hey, man, we got a long time to see who the best quarterbacks are next year. But it's definitely something that we got to keep an eye on. All right. Talked about Philip Lindsay. Talked about him getting lighter, getting faster. And something that has happened recently is our good friends at Simbull the stocks have been rising fastly. Fastly? Is that a word? They've been rising fastly, just like motherfucking Philip Lindsay has. Look at the Texans stock. It was sitting around $20. Now we up, baby. We up big time at $7.27. Oh my God, our good friends over at Simbull. Thank you for sponsoring the video. Thank you for sponsoring me, supporting me. But yeah, man, this is a basically stock market for sports teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever you want to do. You believe in your team or any team and you want to make money off of their success, come to Simbull. Links in the description. Use my code TexansThoughts for a free $10 deposit and go make yourself some money, man. Go make yourself some money. If you invested in the Texans, like I know a lot of y'all have, you would have seen a nice little jump in this past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, honestly, all the teams have really been taking a big jump recently in the past week, and I think that's because Simbull, man, it's been catching on. People are loving it. People are loving it. So every single stock you see here in the past week. More users have been joining in and getting in on Simbull because they know it's the next big thing, man. NFL, MLB, NBA, whatever you want to do. NBA is really an interesting one for me because there's actually a win payout for them. I believe it's 10 cents per share that you own, that every game that they win, you'll own. So it's kind of like dividends in that sense. But yeah, man, Simbull is I think the future of sports investing, sports trading. Sports betting in itself, that type of industry, is a very tough industry to actually make money off of. But this is a simple way, man. If you're educated about your sports knowledge and you want to put that to use and make some money off of it, Simbull's the way to go, man. But that's it for me. I'm done my little ad read. So you can come back now, okay? Don't worry. I'm done. All right, let's see. Xbox, PS4, PC. My boy George's PC, PS5. We're on the PS5 now. Oh, that's how you know I'm getting old. Oh, that's embarrassing, man. That's embarrassing. I'm assuming that says Matt. It says Oculus Quest 2. Ooh. Consoles are for cool kids, Joey. I believe in you. Jordan's so much love, my guy. Much love, much love. I've honestly, damn, there's only one Xbox boy. OG Andy. I feel you. I've been an Xbox man since birth. That's all I've known. That's what my dad got me, and we started playing together. That's how I got introduced into it. But man, I can't lie. PlayStation, they know what they're doing. So I mean, I might have to switch over, and that would hurt me. Evil Sut was good. How you doing? Pat Storm's gonna be mad. Astros would sweep the Stink Sox. Pat Storm may or may not be calling in. His son Noah is in the championship game for his little league, so we gotta send him some good vibes, some good prayers, some good energy. Hopefully he wins. But if they get back in time, man, he might be making it a good guest experience. Ooh, we got Buffa Man. Xbox as well. Jay says PC it is, but PS5, man, is my second love. Oof. The thing is, I wish Madden was cross-platform. If Madden was cross-platform, that'd be so dope, man. Then I would just run it on my PC. Hey, we got another Xbox boy, James Williams. Let's go. Ooh, I see your comment, Josh, about Justin Simmons and the Broncos.
Yeah. Cool guys don't look at explosions. They blow things up and then walk away.
Jerome with another $7. Oh my God, y'all ain't letting me get through my itinerary, my agenda for the day, because you're just so generous with your donations. Thank you. Appreciate your $7, my guy. Consistent as always. He says, honest opinion, Jordan. Are we being overlooked, or is all the 1 in 16 bullshit, etc. predictions correct? Think about how many teams in NFL history have gone, I guess, 1 in 15, right, before the 17-game season. Think about how many times that's happened. Not very often. That is a historic number. And I look at this team, and yeah, no, it's not the best team. I'm not expecting more than 4 or 5 wins. That would be amazing. But it's not 1 in 16 bad either. They have added way too many established veterans who have proven success and track record for us to be 1 in 16 bad. If that happens, it's because Tyrod Taylor got injured. Our whole offensive line got injured. David Culley got COVID and knocked out for the entire year. I don't know. But I don't see 1 in 16 happening, man. I think we're going to at least get 1 win against the Jags. And then you're saying we can't win 1 more game throughout the rest of the season? There's no way. There's no way. So I think we're going to win around, 3, 4 games, maybe 5. It all depends, man. The NFL, at the end of the day, like, these are all... The NFL, any team can win on any given Sunday. It is how it is. Think about all those years that the Texans lost very winnable games that they should have won versus a team that, we kind of counted out. They were kind of they're going to go 1 in 16 type of teams, right? So we can always be that upset guy, that underdog. And when you got all these players who are hungry on their 1-year prove-it deals, they want to be that underdog, want to be that upset guy. I just don't see 1 in 16, man. I don't. Pretty sure it's cross-platform now. It is, George? Oh, that's huge. Oh. I got Xbox One X, but I can't figure out Madden anymore. I called it after the tutorial, wanted me to read quarterback coverage during the play. Last time I was good at Madden was 97 on the N64. God damn, Chris. Chris be slacking. That's something I would love to do, man. A Madden series with y'all. And we can get better. We can play together. It'll be fun, man. Sports Players is saying we're going 0-17, man. God damn with this negativity. It's okay. Things that we don't got to be good this year. I don't think we should actively tank, but we do want as high of a pick as possible. Top 3, top 5 pick. that's the best way to turn this franchise around. Texans listed Cole Turner as a center on the OTA roster. Cole Turner ain't Cole. Isn't it Toner? I don't remember. He's not really someone I'm too worried about. But all right, let's keep it going. I got some good news, some interesting news about some potential interviews I could be bringing to the channel, to the Texans Unfiltered website potentially as well. Sent out some emails the other day, and got some interesting responses. So just know that, just dropping that little nugget. Just keep your eyes out. I'll let y'all know when it gets confirmed, but that should be fun. Some more news in terms of cuts, potential roster additions. We're late in the off season, not late in the off season, but we're past free agency. But you can always still make additions. And with Duke Ajayi unfortunately being cut from the roster, the Texans have one roster opening, and they're all about competition, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go add another guy and have him compete. So sad to see Duke go. I mean, he flashed a lot as a rookie. I think his length, his technique is always very interesting to me as a pass rusher. But man, just couldn't get away from the damn injury bug, and I felt really bad for him. But it is what it is. It still seems like he's not healthy, unfortunately. But there's a lot of defensive ends on this roster, especially with Jacob Martin and Jonathan Gennard moving from outside linebacker to defensive end. A move I love so much, and I think it's going to be beneficial for both of them. But there's a lot of guys there, man. Shaq Lawson, those two. Jordan Jenkins, guys like Derek Rivers could prove something, hopefully. I'm going to actually make a video on Jordan Jenkins and Derek Rivers next week, continuing my competition casserole series. Look at defensive end, so we'll talk about that. So I've seen Sherman as pickups we could make, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. What free agents could we add right now? Richard Sherman will be interesting. I think he hates the Texans. I think that's been established. And he probably wants to go to a team that he can win, be competitive with. But I would love him if he would want to come here, of course. He would fit the scheme well. He'd be a good mentor to our young guys like John Reed. Steven Nelson would be amazing, Ryan. I wanted Bashad Breeland. He just got signed by the Vikings. He's a cornerback. He used to play for the Chiefs. But Steven Nelson would be good. Former Steelers starter on a very solid defense, very strong, very elite defense. I like him. He'd fit the scheme well. Can you interview Joey Texas? Would make for amazing content. Joey would be a great interview. That is true. Oh man, maybe. I'm ready for 4-3 after we lost Wilford and Reader. There was no reason to remain in 3-4. Nah, there ain't. Now the team with how the defense has been restructured, our personnel definitely fits 4-3 more so than 3-4. Watson would not have done this if we got the coach he wanted. There were a lot of reports saying that it didn't matter what coach that we got. I think what really set it off is the GM hire, the GM process of the hire, and then potentially some of the allegations kind of already started to get that idea in his mind. I don't know for sure. I can't say what Deshaun thought, but the free agent that I want to add, and shout out to Ryan, because Ryan already knows how I thought. Ryan already was scrolling Twitter. He saw that my boy Jamie Newman, quarterback out of Wake Forest, he was an undrafted rookie this year. He signed with the Eagles, but he didn't make it through camp, man. He got cut already. So I don't know, man. That was the guy that I liked throughout the draft process. I think if you were going to go get a project quarterback, I wanted a guy like him. Athletic, big arm, kind of boom or bust potential. If he hits, he could be a Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott type of late round quarterback. But there is a good, very high chance that he does bust. He's a free agent. He cleared waivers. No one picked him up. I don't think it hurts to go get him. Go have him compete with Jeff Driscoll. See what he's got. Bring him into the system. And maybe at the worst, then he becomes a practice squad guy. You give him another year on the practice squad. Work his way up. Build off those great athletic traits. And see what you got, man. I would love Jamie Newman. Would love Jamie Newman. What else? What else we got? Okay. 2 more major topics on the agenda. And then we'll get our team leaders in here. Josh says we need a strong safety. I think Lonnie gonna play strong safety. And I think I'd rather give him the snaps, the opportunity to prove himself at safety than go sign someone else. Again, then go sign a veteran who might be better than Lonnie this year, but long term, what is he really going to do for the team, right? Lonnie's one of the few young guys on this roster who, great athlete, great potential, great size, got everything that you'd want in that regard for someone in the secondary. and he hasn't hit, and he's not near his ceiling, right? So I think those are the young guys that we want to be prioritizing, giving them as much playing time as possible, and hopefully he can figure it out as strong safety, man. I think he can. Lonnie's but we need a Matthew type that would help Reed in the backfield. Yeah, I think Reed is going to transition back to the free safety position that he started off at in his rookie season. We saw his playmaking ability there, getting picks. I would agree. I would like to have a more aggressive, strong safety, but in this Tampa 2 system anyways, you're going to be playing 2 safeties deep anyways, not so much 1 deep and 1 in the box like where you'd want a Tyrann Mathieu. So it doesn't matter that much. I think Lonnie's fine. Joey says, sports because Cal chose a preacher with no football experience over his young. Oof. Joey spitting today. Okay, another big topic I want to talk about. It kind of pissed me off seeing it on Twitter, seeing James Campen, the offensive line coach. He was doing a press conference, and I guess someone brought up Marcus Cannon, and they brought up the competition going on. And basically saying that Tytus Howard, Marcus Cannon, they're competing, man. There's a competition at right tackle. There's 8 tackles on the roster, so there's got to be some sort of competition going on. And Campen also said that Marcus Cannon, he doesn't envision Cannon not playing at right tackle. And I don't like that, because initially what it tells you is, oh, Cannon's the starter. He's a vet. He's brought in a trade, so clearly there's interest in him. Former Patriot. They're going to prioritize him. I would hate that, man. I would hate if they start Cannon at right tackle over Tytus. Number one, because Cannon is an older player who has 2 years left on his contract, and he's not going to do anything for us after that. We're not going to re-sign him. These next 2 years, we're not going to be competing anyways. So there's no point in taking away an investment from your young former first round player and putting it into a veteran like that. That's already 33 years old. So that's number one. Number two is that he's actually not better than Tytus Howard at right tackle. If he was better than him, that would be a different conversation. But I think Tytus Howard has had an underrated past year. He's kind of flown under the radar because of the lack of overall team success. But last year, man, he had a hell of a year, especially as a pass protector, which is the more important aspect of the game. The first 9 weeks, man, this man went up against a gauntlet. Frank Clark, Matt Judon, Yannick Ngakoue, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Harold Landry, Josh Allen twice. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, the gauntlet of elite pass rushers, maybe not elite, but very good to elite pass rushers that he faced. And he did damn well, man. He did damn well. I'm rewatching this season through the first 4 weeks versus Frank Clark, Matt Judon, TJ Watt, and then Yannick Ngakoue. This man only gave up 1 sack and then 5 pressures. That's really damn good through 4 games versus elite pass rushers. In the game versus the Vikings, they started off Yannick Ngakoue rushing against Tytus, and they switched Ngakoue from the right side to the left side to go rush against Laramie freaking Tunsil. Imagine having that problem. That you're going to choose to attack Laramie Tunsil because you're getting stonewalled by Tytus Howard. That is crazy. So I think Tytus has proven that he can hang with top competition in terms of protecting the quarterback. Run game, that's another issue we'll get to eventually, but he's proven it, man, and he's nowhere near his ceiling. He's winning on the field, but he's kind of winning ugly. His technique ain't there right now. I think there's a lot of things that he can improve on. I'll make a video on that, but his play can get to another damn level, man, and that's a scary thing. He's finally got Mike Devlin out of here. Hopefully James Campen is an upgrade and can just keep him at right tackle and refine the little things in his technique. Because if he can do that, man, this man is a Pro Bowler easily. And you don't mess with a Pro Bowl young talent like that for Marcus Cannon. You just don't. And I know some people are saying, okay, move Tytus to left guard. He played it in his rookie season, right? He has at least some familiarity there, but a right tackle is more important than a left guard. So positional value, it just makes more sense to keep him at tackle. He spent the whole last season at tackle and looked damn good. Cannon is a better guard than he is a tackle, and Tytus has already showed that he can play tackle. So it don't make sense. It don't make no sense to me, man. Stop messing with our young players, especially guys who we have high hopes for. We invested high picks in Tytus Howard, a guy that can play for another 10 years in the league. Cannon ain't playing for 10 years in the league. I'd be surprised if he can play as a starter for another year or two. I really would be. He's old. He's unathletic. Cannon's warts, being like unathletic and slow, aren't good for tackle. They're better for guard. You don't have to be as athletic at guard. So, I mean, it just makes no sense to me for Cannon to be the guy at right tackle. If it's truly all about competition and the best man wins the job, Tytus gonna blow him out the water anyways. So, I think Campen's comments about Cannon staying at right tackle is just more about Cannon being the backup right tackle. And he'll stay there at right tackle. Rod Johnson can be the backup left tackle for Tunsil. And those 4 tackles, man, you got Laramie Tunsil, Tytus Howard, then backups, you got Rod Johnson and Marcus Cannon. That's amazing tackle depth. That's amazing tackle depth. Tyrod Taylor going to be sitting pretty from the edges. Now we just got to figure out the interior. I know people said that, oh, if Cannon's going to be a backup, if he's not even going to be at guard, then you traded capital and he's kind of making a lot of money for a backup. But he's on the team now. You're paying him regardless. I would rather him be a plus backup than be a negative starter at right tackle, because he would be a negative starter at right tackle. And then you mess up Tytus too. It's like two negatives with him actually starting versus him actually being a positive, being off the bench and being a great rotational guy. Good tackle depth, exactly. Heck two. So that's the thing, man. Ooh, okay, that's my rant. I'm sweating a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, last thing in the title of the video. Minicamp being canceled, man. Minicamp being canceled. And my thought process has changed on this quite a good amount. At first, my initial reaction, because this is the first tweet that I saw, and it kind of pissed me off. Well, no, this was not the first tweet I saw. The first tweet I saw was basically just saying that head coach David Culley announced that they're canceling OTAs because they had made enough progress to the point where they're happy and they don't need to practice no more. That's the first thing that came out from the media. And the whole idea of, okay, these guys came into OTAs in shape, best shape of their lives. They're all looking good. They're working well together. They're competing. They're learning the playbook. All that stuff that you want to hear, obviously, and all the stuff that the media is kind of taught to push out there. You want to send out good vibes, right? That all kind of makes me a little skeptical when something like this comes out. And Clint Stoner, he's a Texans reporter / insider. I don't know his exact title, but it's interesting to me that he said that minicamp was scheduled for next week. They canceled it, but they made a deal with team leaders before OTAs started. Now, if that's true, it is just one man saying it, but he goes to camp. He has his insiders. He's a pretty credible source, in my opinion. But if that is true, it's a bad look, man. It's a bad look, because number one, not only is Culley lying about saying that, oh, we did this because they looked ready, but number two, you are missing somewhat of an opportunity to improve. And when you have a new head coach, when you have a new defensive coordinator, so many new position coaches, the different systems, and so much roster turnover, so many new starters everywhere, really, you need as much practice as possible. And so to call that off even before y'all got to OTAs is just, I think it is a missed opportunity. I think it's a missed opportunity to get better and get more cohesive as a unit. But, and I'll say but, at the end of the day, it don't really matter. It don't really matter. It don't really matter, because minicamp is only, I think, 3 or 4 days anyways. There are other teams who've done it. I believe the Niners are doing it and the Eagles are doing it. They're canceling as well. And for a team, especially like the Texans, a team that we're not expecting to make the Super Bowl anyways, we're not expecting to make a deep playoff run anyways, we don't need to be amazing. We don't need every damn single day of practice. Less practice means we're a worse team. Means we're going to be having a higher pick. I mean, come on. And then Clint works on Sports Radio 610. Exactly. So he's got his connections. He's like a credible source, in my opinion. At this point, media hates us. They said we are going to finish last in the league. That's the thing about the media, man, is that they'll make a narrative and they'll stick by it no matter what. No matter what additions we make, no matter what subtractions we make, no matter what. Because it's just easier that way. It's easier to be lazy. So they're going to hate us. That is what it is. We'll wait to the season, see if we can prove them wrong. Didn't they say the players voted on it? That's what they said. They talked to the Texans leaders, probably the vets, probably Whitney Merciless, probably Laramie Tunsil, probably Bradley Roby, guys like that, and they came up to a decision on it. And I think talking about the other teams that did it, San Fran and Philly, San Fran, I understand because it's not like Kyle Shanahan is new coach. It's not like they had a lot of roster turnover. They lost Saleh, so that's something. They lost their OC, so that's something, but they don't have as much turnover as we do. Now, the Eagles, on the other hand, Eagles are making a dumb decision because they got a new head coach. They got a new OC, new DC. Their roster didn't turn over as much as ours, but I don't know, man. I think they could use more practice. I think more practice ain't going to hurt nobody. It ain't going to hurt nobody. I guess you have an increased chance of stopping fluke injuries, but it's 3 days at the end of the day, man. It ain't really a big deal. It ain't a big deal. Good for you. There's over 50 in here. Same thing a few days ago. I don't know if that's like a compliment or like a jab, but I ain't expecting a lot of viewers, man. It's the dead season of the off season. But I respect every single one of you who is tuned in and who is still here. Thank you very much, my guys. Joey Tex, we had no run game last year. What are y'all talking about? We have one Pro Bowler now, Tunsil. We are gonna be bad, man. Like, we're gonna be a 3 to 4 win team. We're gonna be a better 3 to 4 win team than most would think.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. They blow things up and then walk away.
Thank you, Jerome, for another $7. He said JJ was a great player, but getting rid of him was a dub. The way the media says it, though, it's like we released Defensive Player of the Year and not overpriced JJ. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I mean, we got to set kind of the feelings and the who he was as a player as of right now aside. Feelings, JJ the person, JJ what he means for this Texans team, his legacy. Obviously, you never want to see that go. You'd wish you could retire as a Texans legend. But he was making a lot of money. He is on the decline. He's getting older. And there's just not that much of a need for him on a rebuilding team. There isn't. Simple as that. So do right by him. Release him so he can go where he wants. That's what they did, man. That's what they did. Rattler is the Texans' future quarterback. Rattler is someone that people are so divided on, man. I think the play on the field, it's hard not to love it. But I know a lot of people complain about him being a diva. That's interesting, man. Hopefully he can grow up a little. Jordan always brings in the crowds. My guy. Thank you, man. Thank you. Joey says some Texans fans think we are making the playoffs. LOL, Noah thinks we are winning the Super Bowl. And there's always going to be some people like that who, you know, are just always going to look for the best case scenario. And that's them, man. They can think whatever they think. You can think as positive as you want. You can think as negative as you want. You can't ever tell someone, like, not to have an opinion, you know? But I hear where you come from, Joey. I know that you don't want people to get their hopes up and then we don't win the Super Bowl and then you're upset, right? So limiting expectation. I know where you come from, my guy. I know where you're coming from. Are fans allowed at training camp? I don't believe they are. All right. Jay, George, Ryan, our 3 Texans Thoughts team leaders. Let me know in the Discord. Oh, Ryan's already in there. He heard his name and goddamn. Jay can't call in. Also need to catch him. Blah, blah, blah. Fans deserve good content. Okay. Well, Ryan's in there. George will get in here, I'm sure, as well, eventually once he's done dinner. But we're transitioning to the segment where Texans Thoughts team leaders get to call into the show. If you want to do that, click the link in the description. Join the team. There's 2 tiers. One is $3.99 a month. One is $10.99 a month. Or I believe $9.99 a month. USD and support me. And you also get exclusive content, man. So check it out. Tiers are in there. All the stuff that you get. But we are... before I go to Ryan.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. They blow things up and then walk away.
Boy. My boy Willie Boy P with the 25 on him. He said, "I love Breakvin Jordan. I feel like he was the steal of the entire damn draft. Love to see what Cully does with him after coming from the Ravens system." I agree, man. Maybe not the entire draft, but definitely for our draft. And he's probably top 5 in terms of the steals of the draft, man, for sure. Breakvin Jordan, um, great athlete. He has the potential to be a dual threat tight end, passing game, running game. Very young, too. So ceiling is through the roof. I think he's the tight end one of the future. I love that pick, too. 5th round, man. Steal. And there's going to be a heavy emphasis on tight ends this year. Heavy emphasis on tight ends. A lot of 2 tight end sets. And so when you play a lot of 2 tight end sets, that means you're going to need 4 reliable tight ends. Especially when you think about the Ravens system, as you brought up. They run so many tight ends, man. And I was looking back, I was watching some Pep Hamilton film when he was the OC with the Colts. They love 2 tight end sets too. And then you got the Ravens assistant tight end coach. He became our official tight end coach. So you're going to see a lot of overlap there, and I think it's good coaching that he'll get, and he can prove, man, and be a great starter. Fans are loud. People think Rattler's a diva because of a little scene on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is overblown or not. I haven't seen it, but everyone always brings that up whenever we talk about Rattler. What's good, Murphy? How you doing, my guy? Caleb says, I think we're going to be a 5 to 7 win team because of the trend that we are always mediocre but not trash after a terrible season. Ooh, is there a pattern? Josh agrees. Breakvin going to be great. I wish I could upgrade my membership. I don't know what's going on, my guy, Joey, but we'll get you on the show eventually, man. Jay says, I'm jumping out, guys. Got to take care of stuff. Keep killing it, Jordan. Thank you, Jay. Take care of business. Appreciate you. Good seeing you again. Ryan, what do you mean, Joey? Stay safe. Yeah, I know Joey's tried it a lot, but it's all good. All right. We're getting Ryan in here now. Let me hop into this Discord. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We talked a little bit before the show, so we did our little catch up. But yeah, man. All right, we did a quick little off-season update, little recap for the stream. But of what I talked about today, is there anything you want to start with? I want to ask you what really you want to focus on and start with, and then we'll go from there, man.
I mean, I just want to talk about quick second on minicamp. Like, it's only 3 days. If 3 days is making or breaking your team as a whole, you already failed, so it doesn't matter.
That is true. It's only 3 days. It shouldn't play a big part in the grand scheme of things. So I definitely don't think it's worth, raging about, getting all up in arms. But you can call it out about being like a questionable decision, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make a big difference. It was just more shocking than anything.
Looking at the system of John Harbaugh over at the Ravens, the decision to let Earl Thomas go was voted on by the players. That's where Coley's coming from most recently.
Yeah.
As players who make decisions about the team. And it's not just coaches run everything.
That's a refreshing change in mentality since the Bill O'Brien days.
And because of that, I kind of want to know, who are the leaders on this team now that Coley's here? Because, Bill O'Brien had his guys. Romeo Crennel had the guys.
In terms of like assistant coaches or in terms of like players?
Players.
Okay.
Like, sometimes different coaches, they'll talk to different guys and connect differently. So, like, I'm sure Bill O'Brien, he only connected with a few guys, and those were the guys that were the quote-unquote leaders,
Yeah.
So with Coley being the people's person, I want to know who the new leaders are on this team.
That's a tough question.
Who's stepping up?
Peace out, Beige. Have a good one, my guy. My mic is low.
Love you, Beige.
What the heck? Maybe I was just talking quieter. I'll talk louder. Is that better? Hopefully. Yeah, I would think, and Josh said it exactly. I was just about to say this, but with Cully, when he's coming into a new team, I think he's got to go with the players he's trusted. That's what it's going to be initially, right? And so Mark Ingram has got to be the guy coming from Baltimore with him. That's got to be one of your main leaders. And he's always been a big-time locker room guy. I know that's something that people bring up. I think Ryan has turned the way up. Jordan can adjust the volume in Discord. Let me turn down desktop audio. Put Ryan like there. And let me see Discord. How's that, y'all? Oh, my boy H-Town Henry. Thank you. He upgraded his membership. He's been a team member for a while. I know that, but he became a team leader now, so he can come into the stream. After this stream, Henry, I will upgrade your membership on Discord and get you into this channel, and then we can talk, man. But thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Let's go. All right, how's the audio now? Hopefully it's better. Ryan, I want to get your thoughts on something.
I'm adjusting my mic right now. If I'm a little too loud in the chat, they should, adjust it for them.
Okay, perfect. Am I still quiet? No one said anything, so I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah, so I want to get your thoughts on the offensive line and Tytus Howard. I get my little rants. What do you think the best situation should be?
I think the best outcome for the team is that he stays at right tackle and we sign him to a long extension.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the best outcome for the team. I think the best outcome for his career and getting a high level extension could also come in the form of he would become a debate for first team all pro tackle or a guard if he was moved.
If he was moved, then he wouldn't be an all pro first tackle, is that what you said?
All pro, not tackle, but guard.
Oh, so you can be better at guard.
Being an all pro guard too. Like, he's not a scrub. He had a very underrated season. I think you're looking at someone who could definitely play every role you want him to play. The only thing is, like, where does he fit best in our long-term plans? And that's going to be sticking at right tackle.
I think so too, man. I think so too. You got to think about it long-term, because even if maybe the argument is that Cannon is a better right tackle right now, he ain't. But even if that is the case, he's only going to be on this team for another 2 years. And we all know these next 2 years it's a transitionary period. So we want to get the best out of Tytus long-term. And I think long-term, just stick him at one position. Don't mess him around with a few positions. Sure, he does have the versatility, but it's not going to look as smooth, And
I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard it, I think it was either yesterday or today. It was probably Pat Storm said on the stream last night that there's two different types of versatility. There's a Bill O'Brien, you're going to be playing multiple positions, and that makes you versatile. And then there's what is generally accepted in the NFL, which is you can step up at a different position.
Yeah, if someone else goes down.
Like Quentin Nelson moving to left tackle for one game, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And that I would be fine with Tytus. But it's different when you're going to change the outlook of his career.
Like, if we have a special package because he might be a better puller than anyone else on the team, like, okay, let's give away the play, but hey, he'd be one hell of a puller, right?
He would be. Really quick, Henry, thank you for upgrading membership. I just got you the new, perks, the new role in Discord. So if you want to jump in now, come on to the stream. You're more than welcome. We're in here. You'll see the voice.
What's going on, boys?
On stream, but we got George in the building. How you doing, my guy?
What's up?
What was dinner? I know you were having dinner. What'd you have?
Oh man, we had we did a Caesar salad. Nice. With some ribeye steaks that I grilled up, grilled asparagus, and some shrimp skewers that I also hit on the grill.
Love some grilled shrimp. That sounds like a bomb meal, man. Okay, Chef George.
Yeah, man. We don't play over here when it comes to dinner. Hey. I make sure we always eat good.
Love to see it. All right. Now that George has come in, how's the audio, y'all? I know it's a bit loud. I'm trying to fix it, but hopefully this is better. Hopefully it's all good. George, is there anything that I talked about today that you really want to talk about yourself? Get your own take out there.
Personally, man, I'm kind of I'm excited, right? You hear and see things coming out of OTAs. Things that you probably weren't expecting to hear. These players buying into the coaches. I kind of want to talk about this minicamp thing.
Yeah.
So I know there's a report out there. Can't remember where I seen it, But there's a report out there that there's a possibility that minicamp was canceled because the players had actually come up with ways to do sort of team building outside of organized activities. And that could be anything from like getting together to go play paintball or, going to someone's house for a barbecue or whatever the case is. And I think, man, that really goes a long way in terms of building that camaraderie and building a winning team.
Yes, sir.
You got to be able to trust the guys around you. And the way you do that is by spending time in your in the off season and in your downtime with each other.
Yeah, I hope
So
that's
I don't know
something
how
that they
true
can
that
do.
is, but if it is, that's something to look forward to. To see that these guys are getting along and they're buying into whatever it is David Scully's putting together.
Yes, sir. I think that's definitely, it's a good point you brought up, man. Obviously you want to have as much work on the field as possible, but so much of football is camaraderie, and those relationships are easier to be built off the field. Going to Top Golf, getting drinks, whatever it is. That's definitely got to play a part of it as well. So hopefully they can build that chemistry and we see it on the field, man. But yeah, I think overall, at first I was a little shocked by it just because it's not a very common occurrence, and it kind of took people by storm. But at the end of the day, man, it's a 3-day mini camp. It's called mini for a reason. All right, it don't really matter that much. And
Yeah, I feel like maybe they did get what they wanted out of the players, and from what I'm reading and hearing and seeing, it looks like a lot of these guys came in ready to work. They came in shape. They didn't have to spend too much time on conditioning or like getting past that first conditioning test. Um, so it's that could also play a huge factor in it, because let's say the coaches had 3 to 5 days planned out for conditioning for all those guys that didn't come in, at the proper weight or whatever the case is. And now you got 3 to 5 extra days where you can be, 5-on-5, 7-on-7, 11-on-11. That goes a long way too.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing that I know, I think plays another part in it is that with these off-season practices, like, yeah, they are important, but also there's only so much that you can do when you're not in pads. And with the
Yep.
NFL rules, they restrict a lot of what you can do in practice. And so the players kind of know how much they can really improve and how much they can't. A lot of it right now is kind of just learning the playbook, and most of that comes off the field anyways. So it's really not a big deal.
Yeah, watching OTAs, man, it's like watching college flag football, two-hand touch type deal. Like,
Yeah.
they're not out there tackling each other.
No.
Like even when you are in padded up, they're only going, 50, 60%. They're not, going all out as they would in a regular season game.
Yeah.
So
They'll still have a training
you know,
camp. It'll be okay, I'm sure. But Clutch Up then has a good question. Actually, let me go back. Josh has a question first. What are these upgrades? So you can become a Texans Thoughts. You can join the family. Links in the description. I got 2 membership tiers basically. If you want some more extra content, you want extra videos, you want to be in our Discord, you want to be able to call into the stream, perks like that. There's 2 tiers for y'all. Look at it in the links in the description. And then yeah, if you've become a leader, like my boy George, like my boy Ryan here, you can call into the stream whenever you want, every time I stream. So those are the upgrades. And then Clutch Up then says, who do I think are our defense leaders? I'm going to give my answers, and then I'd love to hear from Ryan and from George. But first of all, I think defensive leaders specifically, I got to go with Zach Cunningham. A lot of the time, your middle linebacker is your quarterback of the defense, your leader of the defense. He sets the tone, sets the plays, gets the guys in positions, and so naturally, it's a natural leader position. And Zach's also a great guy. He seems very personable, like he can rally guys together and create connections like that. So I think Cunningham, in terms of linebackers, in terms of the secondary, it would probably be Justin Reed, because he's, I believe, the longest tenured guy. So, and Justin Reed himself, like a man from Stanford, like every time you hear him talk, every quote you see from him, he's always a very well-spoken, smart individual, good communicator. And so I think he's probably our other defensive leader. But Ryan, who do you think are our defensive leaders? Oh, Pat said check the text. My phone has been gone.
we getting a drop here?
How much longer will I be on? Probably for you, Pat, I'll be on all damn night.
In that championship game.
Yeah, we gotta get Pat in here. Okay, I'm gonna quickly get y'all's answers, and then I might have to boot y'all out and then get Pat in here.
We have so many bets on the team right now, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but if we're going off of returners, it's going to be Cunningham, Reed, and Merciless. Those are going to be the three guys from returners.
Yeah.
That I think step up and be leaders on defense.
Yeah, Merciless, of course. Wouldn't Whitney be the longest tenure? Yes, I meant for the secondary. He's longest tenured in the secondary, just me. But yeah, I agree with you as well, Ryan.
Three possession groups on defense.
Whitney's got to be in there as well. All right, you got Jay Reed, you got Cunningham, you got Merck. Is there anyone else you would add to that, George?
I'd add in Christian Kirksey. I think that veteran presence, coming from a team that did a rebuild, someone that has been a part of an organization that, I mean, let's be honest, the Browns were not good at all during his time there. I think he can bring in the mindset of, hey, man, I understand that a lot of people have us down and out and not winning any games, but you need to put all that out of your mind, and remember that you need to come in every day, give 110%. And I think he definitely has that veteran presence about him.
That's a good point. The adversity that you face when you're on a shitty Browns team. Definitely. All right, I'm sorry to cut this short. Usually you guys would be on for longer, but we got a special guest and we got to make way for Patrick Storm, the man himself. So
yeah, let's do it.
Pat, if you want to hop into the general voice chat on Discord, I'll get you in here. But until then, yeah. All right, see you, George.
See you, bud.
Disconnecting. All right. We will wait for Patrick Storm. The man. I'll be home. Oh, he said I'll be home in 5 minutes. Oh, well, never mind. My bad. I should have checked my text before I kicked y'all out. But we'll just answer some questions in the chat here as we wait for Pat. Let me text him back. My phone was charging on the floor. Sounds good. I'll wait for you. We will get Patrick Storm here in 5 minutes. So if you gotta take a bathroom break, you want to get a drink, you want to get a snack, go get that and come back in 5 minutes, and we'll get Patrick Storm here. All right. 86 Al Murphy says Jordan Jenkins apparently has a locker room leader personality. Jordan Jenkins, that would be another interesting guy. I think I'm gonna make a video on him for next week, but I liked what I saw out of him. I think he can be a solid rotational guy. And maybe like an average to below average starter. Good pass rusher, very high motor, very high energy guy. Very good hands. We use a lot of different moves. He's got potential, man. He's got potential, and I think him going from a 3-4 outside linebacker to a 4-3 defensive end will make his job easier. Puts a hand in the dirt. He'll hopefully finally be playing on the right side of the damn field. He likes playing on the left side of the field better, but they played him a lot on the right side. So yeah, I think Jordan Jenkins could be a very impactful player. I think so. Clutch Out then says, interested to see Desmond King. That's definitely my favorite defensive addition and probably my favorite free agent overall. I've loved him since college out of Iowa. I thought he was always one of these guys who he's an underdog and kind of slept on because he's a little undersized for a DB. He's maybe not be the most athletic guy, and so that caused him to fall in the draft, 4th, 5th round pick, whatever it was. But this man is always the smartest guy on the field. He knows how to read the quarterback, read offenses in front of him, and you put him in zone coverage in the slot, oh, he's going to ball out for you. So he can do that. He can stop the run. He can return punts. I think, if there's one guy as an outsider kind of defensive free agent who will be a leader, I think it's Desmond King. For sure. Ooh, Josh says Charles Omenihu will have 10 plus sacks this season. 10 plus sacks, double digit. That would be crazy. I'm going to go back into this voice channel here with George and with Ryan. If y'all want to join back. I know, George, you're here right now. How you doing, my guy? He ain't right here right now. He's just in the thing. But if you guys want to come back in, I'm sure Ryan will come back in and talk to me until Patrick Storm comes onto the stream. Then that would be great. I want a friend.
Are we back?
We're back just for a little bit, just until Pat comes back. Because Pat said he's going to be home in 5 minutes.
Pat, you're killing us, Pat.
He's killing us. Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
The anticipation.
He was supposed to come in last week. I think he was supposed to come in the week before
I
as
know.
well and drop a nugget. So we'll see what he has to say. I'm sure. I don't honestly. I haven't asked him about what it's about, but you'd have to think it's about Deshaun, right?
I would imagine so. It might have something to do with the Rich Eisen report that I talked about earlier.
The rich guys.
About
What'd you say, sir?
Rich Eisen, he put
Oh.
out that thing about, there's rumors that Watson is deeply embedded in settlement talks, basically doing a large settlement with everybody. So I mean, we'll see. The problem for me is that whether he settles or not, whether he gets suspended or not, there's a less than 1% chance that Watson ever suits up for us.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that as well.
I don't see it happening. The only way I see it happening is if they tell him, no, we're not trading you, and if you don't show up, we're going to fine you. The sad part about it is that I don't think this front office has the backbone to do that.
Yeah,
so
and even if he were to get fined, I feel like he's made enough money in his career. And I know his sponsors have backed out, but I don't think he's that worried about being fined.
I don't think that we cancel Minicamp just because of a fine at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Nick's making a bad move with that. Coley's making a horrible move with that. And I was watching Pat McAfee show, and they're talking about, is the team really going to find Aaron Rodgers? Like, because to him, that's really nothing. It doesn't do anything except show any other quarterback, hey, if you throw a fit at all, we're going to harp on you and jump on your back. So what kind of culture are you setting, and what kind of precedent are you setting for the rest of your team with this?
Yeah. And I know from a fan's perspective, a lot of people feel that he's quitting on the team. So if that's coming from a fan's perspective, can you imagine what the teammates actually feel like? The guys who are going out there to protect him, the offensive linemen who are going out to protect him, that's their job. The wide receivers or want to believe in him and catch passes from him. Like, they got to feel a little bit betrayed too, right?
I wouldn't be upset if the O-line let him get sacked 8 times. I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't either unless he got like severely hurt.
Yeah, unless you're talking about like a Dak Prescott injury.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, the front office already can't sell season tickets. Like, people have been waiting 2 to 3 years, plus for season tickets, and their time has come around, and they're just like, nope, fuck this. Like, I'm not doing it.
I think, yeah,
fan morale. That in itself should tell you something.
Fan morale is definitely at a low, and that really sucks, man. Really sucks.
Yeah.
Joey says
it's a bad time to be a Texans fan.
Joey be trolling in the chat. He says Watson's mom is my neighbor, and she told me that she wants to stay. He's just waiting for Jack to be fired before he announces he wants to stay. Hey, man. Joey's got the inside connects to Deshaun's mom. It is what it is, man. He knows. We don't need Pat Storm. We got Joey. All right, Pat should be here soon. Let me check my texts.
Man, we need an update on whether his kid won or not. Because I know from it, like, I think he tweeted out something about, like, they were the 8th seed and knocked off the 2nd seed or something like that. And they're in the championship game as, like, the 8th seed. So.
Yeah, I remember that. You're talking about Pat's son Noah, right? Hopefully they won, man. Hopefully.
So this is a big deal that an 8th seed made it this far and knocked off so many people.
The underdog story. Oh, he's jumping on with me right now. He tweeted it. All right, we'll get Pat Storm here in a second. I'm excited, man. I think it's probably about Deshaun. The only other thing about Deshaun to bring up is that Kareem Jackson interview that's going around, saying that, Deshaun called him. Deshaun's worried about where Kareem wants to sign, if he's going to re-sign with Denver, and that he wants to be in Denver. And I mean, I think at this point, like, obviously Kareem would like to play with Deshaun, and I think Deshaun and Kareem are boys like that, and it would be enticing for Deshaun, but it's also just like, how do I explain this?
Bad blood from Kareem to the Texans.
I think that could be part of it, trying to make the Texans not look as good.
So, like, I take anything he says about the Texans with a grain of salt.
Yeah, we kind of pissed him off when we didn't even try to resign him.
Salt.
Yeah, so I would take his comments with a grain of salt, and at the end of the day, Texans got to do what they got to do. Best interest in them. So if Denver does have a great offer, I mean, hey. But all right, Pat's here. So peace out, Ryan. Peace out, George. Thank you for calling in. We'll catch you next stream, but we got to get to the boy Patrick Storm. All right, see y'all. Pat, how you doing? It says your mic's muted. So I don't know if you're ready yet, but when you are, we will get you in here. I'm excited to hear about Noah and his championship game. Oh, baby, here we go.
Oh, man. No, championship didn't go as we planned, but
Damn.
yeah, I mean, it was a really good. The team as a whole, we won 3 games all season, and I don't know if you heard me. We only won 3 games all season.
Yeah.
And then so we were the 8th seed in the playoffs. We won the first game, and then that was kind of like a wild card round, like in Major League, and then we played the number 1 seed team who hadn't lost a game all season. We knocked them out. We beat them by 1 run.
Hey.
And then the game on Tuesday, we won 21-9. It was against a team that had beaten their first opponent 18-2.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was, so they were playing some really good baseball, man. And, we had kids that had, when they first started playing with us, they couldn't hit the ball, couldn't field a ball or anything like that. We had, and by the end of the season, especially, the last couple of days, everybody was contributing, everybody was hitting, everybody was fielding, making defensive plays. So it was a heck of a season, man. I'm really proud of all the kids. It was I really enjoyed coaching them, and so I'm just looking forward to next season now.
Oh, damn, you were the coach.
Yeah,
Hey.
man. So first year I got to got to coach because of with work and travel and everything like that. So I haven't been able to do it until this year, and so it was definitely a blast. And he's got baseball camp starting up next week and for a couple weeks in July. So
awesome.
There's no stopping. It just keeps going with him.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. He's got the work ethic. We gonna see Noah Storm in the league one day.
I hope, man. That's my retirement plan.
Hell yeah, cash in on that. He gonna buy you a nice house, nice car, a little beach house too, maybe. Hell yeah.
Man.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear though, man. I mean, as a coach, you really just want to just see improvement. I mean, and so it sounds like you definitely help the boys do that.
100%.
100%. All right. I know you wanted to come in last week, and for a while really, but you got anything you want to talk about for the Texans? Any updates on your mind?
I mean, I just, I've been kind of just keeping tabs on things lightly and from a distance, and talking to a few people that are there at camp, and and it's OTAs, man. It's nothing to be taken too serious or anything like that. But the guys are gelling. They're getting along really, really good. There's a really good attitude among everybody. It's not like, they're not letting all the stuff in the background affect them. They're not letting the noise get to them. Good. Which is really cool because, it's very easy with everything that's happened over last season with O'Brien getting fired, and all the Jack Easterby stuff, and then the whole meltdown with the GM and head coach search.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got the stuff going on with Deshaun. It would be very easy for these guys to be distracted or discouraged and not have a good attitude about them coming into work, and they are. They're blocked out all the noise. They're not letting the national media, they're not letting all this SI stuff get into their head, and they're just, they're doing them. And I think that's what's really important. And I think that is kind of, I keep making this comparison, and I feel like, Dusty Baker obviously had to do that for the Astros, coming off of the 2017 scandal and stuff like that. And I feel like Cully is the Dusty Baker to the Texans.
Oof.
He's not a guy that's going to go out there and, you don't feel like he's going to be, your Robert Salas or guys
Shanahan.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Andy Reeds, stuff like that. You don't think of him as somebody like that, but he's somebody that can come in and guys are going to respect him. Guys are going to want to work for him. And that's all you can ask for, especially at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 30 something guys returning this year off of the roster last year. I don't even think it's that, actually. You know, there's been such a huge turnover, so there's gonna be a ton of new faces out on that field. And so, you know, you've got to have somebody that can come in and get these guys to buy in and show up on a Sunday and want to put in the work and want to win. And I feel like that's what this group is all about, man.
Yeah. I think,
you know,
a few points, like, first of all, you saying that everyone's buying in, everyone's gelling. I think that it really speaks to their competitive nature and them all having a, you know, a prove it contract. They're motivated. They want to put the work in, work together, gel together. And so I think we're seeing that right now with what you're saying. And then with Cully, you made a good point. You know, he might not be the best guy with the X's and O's, with the Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid play calling, right? But we shouldn't be expecting that in the first place. We kind of just want more of a bridge head coach, in a sense, where, like you said, just be that motivator, get the best out of those guys. And at least from my perspective and watching the press conferences with Cully, the one thing that really sticks out to you is that he's passionate and he's positive. And it goes to your point again about blocking out the noise, blocking out the negativity. Media can talk all the shit that they want, but if he can truly get these guys to buy in, that speaks a whole lot to him as a head coach, man.
Yeah, and you know, I look at it like this, man. I don't want, as a fan of the game, I hate seeing like what Miami did, the whole tanking for Tua thing, or like the Jaguars last season, they tanked, and you know, I don't like that. That's not in me. Like, I hate seeing my team lose on purpose, right?
Yeah.
I would much rather them go out there, win 5 or 6 games, get a higher draft pick, get, you know, a decently high draft pick, and then, you know, and start and moving on into the next year. Like, I'm not expecting a playoff team this year. That is just not in the cards. If it happens, hell yeah, cool, sweet. But it's just like, there's no expectations for it, right? I'm looking for these guys to come in and make a stand and improve it. Like you said, make on these prove it deals, these 1-2 year deals, sign a couple of them that stand out to, you know, 2 to 3 year deals, extensions, and just build a really freaking solid foundation to go into the future with. If you can come out of this free agency class, if you can come out with 5 guys, say like 2 on offense and 3 on defense that are solid contributors, and guys that are going to, you know, go out there on a Sunday and make a play for you and turn a ball game around for you, that's huge. That's a big win for Caserio. That's a big win for that front office. That's a big win for the organization. And then, you know, then you've got a young draft class coming in next year because you have all your picks.
Yep.
So that's a solid foundation to build upon and just move on and, you know, just keep going, keep chugging, man.
I absolutely agree.
I don't need a full-on tank where you're have to have the first overall pick, because how many years now have we seen the number 1 overall pick or the top, you know, these top 3 or 4 quarterbacks drafted every year not be, you know, what we expect out of them?
Yeah.
You've got a few outliers recently with Mahomes and Watson, Justin Herbert and stuff like that are going to be, you know, these guys are going to be good for a few years. But then you look at guys like Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, you know, they've been traded now because they did, you know, stuff didn't work out, and they were supposed to be the next, you know, Andrew Luck, or, you know, I hate that. I hate having we got to get the number 1 overall pick. Hell no, man. It's not necessary to be competitive.
It's really not, and the Jaguars just did it for Trevor Lawrence, and we'll see how that works out for them. But I'm with you on the idea that tanking, like especially purposefully tanking, is just, you're not like treating the game of football the right way. And I think in the end, the football gods, they'll punish you for that. It's not how you want to play the game. It's not a very competitive mindset. And so I'm with you on that. And as a fan, obviously it sucks to see a team, like, what's the point of watching games if you know your team is just going to be not trying and fielding a bad team, right? It's not fun. So I'm with you on that. And then, yeah, man, your point about kind of expectations for the season and expectations for the free agents. If we can walk with 5, that's a huge dub. That'd be way more than I expect. I think even if we get 3, I'd be happy with that. If we can re-sign guys like Philip Lindsay, who's only 26. Desmond King is still young. I believe he's 27. Maybe we extend Shaq Lawson. Those, I think, are 3 types of guys who can be pillars, foundation, like you put it, for a defensive turnaround. Because defensive turnarounds, man, that's obviously a big priority for us, but they take years. No one's expecting this defense to turn around in one off season. That would be unrealistic out of expectations out of Nick Caserio. You look at teams like the Colts, teams like the Niners, the Browns, who've had that defensive turnaround. It took 3-4 years. And so I think, like you said, laying that foundation, get a few guys this year, draft a few more guys next year, and we'll be rolling for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that I've talked to a couple people that are like, even if say they do trade Deshaun, that just makes the turnaround even that much faster because you acquire more draft picks. You're going to get an assortment of stuff, whether it be players and picks. And they're like, this team could be really good inside of 2 years. They're not that bad, but they're not that great, right?
Yeah.
Like they were a very mediocre team, and now they're in a position to capitalize on things to get, to build a solid foundation for the future. And people are like, well, a lot of these guys are going to end up leaving, on these 1-year deals, and I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
If Philip Lindsay comes in here and rushes for 900 yards and 8 touchdowns next year, and then leaves and signs a multi-year deal with somebody else, then who cares? Because then you get a comp pick for him.
Yep.
You're probably going to end up with a 3rd-round comp pick for him on a running back who's give you a solid season, and then who left. So what? You've got other guys still in that room. And one thing what's crazy, man? I saw this the other day, and it totally blew my mind, and it's totally off topic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Derrick Henry is older than Todd Gurley?
Damn. What?
By a year. He's older by a year. Derrick
People
Henry's 27. Todd Gurley's 26. I feel like Todd Gurley's been in the league for 10 years.
People talk about him like he's a damn grandpa.
I know. I was like, what? No way, man. I had to go look it up myself, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And Derrick Henry, I know there's a stat, I think it's 380 carries. Something about running backs who have, once they pass that 380 carry mark, is downhill at an exponential rate. And so
yeah, we'll see how that happens over there, because I mean, like you already have AJ Brown. You just added Julio now.
Yep.
So you've just taken you can take quite a bit of pressure off of Derrick Henry now to have to be that workhorse to carry that team. But they lost the tight end. They lost Jonnu Smith, right?
Yep.
So he was a big part of that offense. So we'll see how that works out. But
yeah, I think if you're thinking about defending the Titans, I think you want to make Tannehill beat you at the end of the day.
For sure.
He's always been a guy who, thrives when Derrick Henry in the run game can set him up for easy 2nd and short, 3rd and short, and then it's easy throws for him off play action. But if you defend the pass, you take away Julio, you try and take away AJ Brown, and you kind of just force them to hand it off, and it's a less efficient play when you're handing the ball off than when you're passing the ball. I think that's the way to defend the Titans, man. I don't know. Titan fans are really hyped up about their team, and their offense obviously has got the superstars, but that defense is going to be trash, and it's going to hold them back in the playoffs. So.
Exactly what I said. I was like, all right, so they got Julio, but who did they get on defense?
Yeah.
Because, like, the defense was their Achilles heel last year. The defense is what let them down, and ever since they lost Dean Pease, they haven't been as good. So.
Yeah, and I think even if people will point to, they added Bud Dupree, but I think a big thing of it, honestly, is in their secondary, and then also just in their coaching overall. Since Mike Vrabel has been really taken over as that DC, they lost, what was his name? Dean Pease. Dean Pease, I believe, either last year or the year before, but they lost him, and he was one of the better DCs in the league. Ever since then, it's been downhill. So
yeah, they haven't been as good, and it was a night and day difference between the 2 seasons for sure.
Really was. Where do you think? Okay, since we're on that topic, give me your early predictions for how the AFC South is gonna play out.
I'm very interested to see how the Colts do with getting Wentz, and I think that they can be a really good team with T.Y.'s back. They've got a decent running back core over there, so I think they're kind of the team to watch. I don't buy into this hype with the Jags with having Trevor Lawrence yet. I mean, I get it. He's potentially could turn into a really good quarterback long term, but we know how rookie quarterbacks do in the league, and it's very rare that they come in year one and just light it up, right? If he does, awesome, good for them. And it would, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise, but I just don't see him being, this guy that's going to come in and just like set the world on fire. So I think the Colts take the division, and I think the Titans secure a wild card. And then the Texans and Jags fight it out for the third and fourth spot. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. I think the Colts, it all swings on Carson Wentz, like you said. If he looks like recent Carson Wentz, they won't make the playoffs. The rest of the roster isn't good enough. But if he can return, he can make that connection again with Frank Reich. Definitely. But then you made a interesting point about the Jags, man, and Trevor Lawrence. There's a lot of turnover with that team too, man. It's not only a rookie quarterback, but also rookie head coach Urban Meyer. Him making that transition from college to the big boys league, it's gonna be tough, and I don't expect it to be a smooth transition. And then him setting up Trevor Lawrence, they've got weapons for him, ETN, James Robinson, DJ Chark, guys like that. But that offensive line is gonna get Lawrence killed, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think that offensive line is a very, very big question mark for them. I mean, you've got Cam Robinson at left tackle, so that we've got a decent start there. But the rest of it is still, very very unpredictable for them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But again, their defense is still kind of a question mark. If did Jordan just hit a home run? No, okay.
It's a very
it's a very questionable team right now.
Yeah, it's a very young and unproven defense, I think. They're relying on a lot of young guys, CJ Henderson, Josh Allen, Caleb Chason, a lot of guys like that. So, yeah, Jags will definitely be at the bottom of the league with us, probably bottom 5. But, yeah, man, 2021, it's okay if it ain't our year. A little transitional period, but 2022, 2023, that's when we make the come up, man. I'm excited for it.
Man. And we don't know, like, I know there's a lot of people saying that he's done and he's gone and this and that. We still don't know how the whole thing with Deshaun is going to shake out, man. And I just have this weird feeling that if the deposition is really pushed out to 2022, I can't see the league putting him on the exempt list.
Really?
I can't, because, and the reason why I say that is because I don't know how far the league is. I know the league has been talking to some of these girls, and I know that they've been talking to Busby. They've talked to Harden, and they're eventually going to get Deshaun's side of things. But I don't know how far along they get into that process right now because of Busby. I feel like he's going to be able to kind of get them to withhold a little bit, for the simple fact that anything that these girls tell the league immediately has to be turned over to Harden.
Oh, so that's a long process.
Discovery. Exactly. And if any of this stuff gets turned over to Harden, the sooner it gets turned over to Harden, the chance of,
him trying to discredit them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to be a super long process, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to speed it up to the point where they have enough to put him on the exempt list. And I know Roger can kind of just go in and do whatever the hell he wants because he's Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
But I think he caught a lot of flack with what he did with Zeke. And I don't know if this one, obviously this case is a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
The magnitude of it is huge. The gravity of the situation, how many complaints against him there are. So, obviously Roger could very well just be like, look, there's 22 cases against this guy, and reportedly there's other women that just won't come forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and put him on the exempt list because to protect the shield type of a thing. So, but I don't know. I know this though. He would have been there next week if they hadn't canceled OTAs.
He would have been there?
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Damn. Deshaun Watson would have been at Texans OTAs if it wasn't canceled. Damn. So that gets rid of the theory that they canceled it for him and he can get fined. So there's still that must mean that there's still some love for the Texans out of Deshaun if he would be there for his teammates.
Well, and the way he's looking at it is he doesn't want to be like, he's got this stigma now that he's a quitter.
Yeah.
And that's not who he is. It's not in his character. That's not in his nature. That's never been who he is. He's always battled through tough times and adversity, with his injuries and growing up the way he grew up. It's just, he's built different, man. He's thought, his mindset, his mind works in a different way.
Yeah.
And so he's just not going to be that guy that's going to, just because he's not getting his way, he's not going to go and just sit out. And, that's a lot of money he's going to be missing out on if he was to, miss mandatory camp and get fined and all that stuff. And then the potential for them to go back and recoup the signing bonus. That's a lot of money that he would be, walking away from. And it's I don't see it.
Damn.
So.
Yeah, that's always another thing I always loved and appreciated about Deshaun is who he is as a person, or at least what we've heard from before. But like you said, he's built different. He's a winner. He has a winner's mentality, and I think with how his name has been dragged through the mud, whether it's for good reason or for not, we still haven't made that decision yet. But he definitely has some of his image to be repaired among fans, among probably the Texans organization, and definitely among his teammates. That was always kind of a big part of the equation for me, in my opinion. Like, these are his boys. A lot of, he's obviously made really good connections with all of his teammates, and it's, as a teammate, you're probably hurt a little bit. It stings a little bit if when your franchise guy, the guy that you're playing for, you're protecting, is going to quote unquote quit on you. So I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear he would be there. So then do you think he would be there when training camp does happen in a month?
As far as I know, basically what I was told is he does not plan to hold out regardless of what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty big change in his tune.
I mean, I don't know where the idea is that he was going to hold out at all came from, because that never came from his team. That was never said by anybody. David Mulugeta shot that down clear as day on Twitter that one day. When, I don't remember who it was, Dan Cilio or somebody like that tweeted out that, Deshaun plans to hold out and this and that, and Skip, he won't attend anything, and yada, yada, yada. And David Mulugeta hopped on there and said, I can tell you this is completely false, so on and so forth.
Damn. So what would you put the odds at Deshaun playing this year?
Man, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know how Goodell's going to do, like what he's going to do.
Hey, 50-50 is a lot higher than we thought. Yeah. That's better than I thought. I would have put it at single digits.
No. I think it's too. It's going to be dragged out for too long.
Damn. Interesting. So we could see Deshaun Watson in Texans jersey after all, and that really kind of changes the outlook on this team. I think we've added talent and made competition at basically every position across the team with all the roster turnover that we've had, and then you add now an X-factor quarterback in Deshaun Watson, top 5 quarterback, MVP potential candidate. If he plays, Pat, I mean, what would you predict that the Texans' record is this season?
If he plays?
Yeah.
9-8.
Oof.
But I usually don't make predictions until after preseason, just because,
Yeah.
I don't know how everything's going to work out, right? Like, I don't know how these guys look on the field at full speed and so on and so forth. So I usually hold back. Last year when I said that they would be lucky to win, I think 6 games, and they ended up winning, 4? So it just, I don't know.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I feel like that's more accurate than a lot of people's predictions from last year. But yeah, 9-8, I could definitely see it. We saw last year Deshaun alone will win you 4 games, even with like probably one of the worst rosters around him. So a little bit of an improvement. 9's probably a good ceiling. Maybe we can sneak into that wild card spot in the playoffs. And when you're in the playoffs, man, anything can happen. So that would be insane.
Yeah, I think they would have won more games last year had Fuller and Roby been out there.
Oh yeah, huge losses.
That was major for them. So,
man, all right. It's been great having you on. I got to go, unfortunately, but thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing the knowledge and your insights as always. It'd be good to see you again, man.
Absolutely, man. Maybe I'll hop on again next week.
All right, perfect. I'm going to hop off from this call and then I'm going to end the stream. But send my best wishes to Noah and the fam, and take care, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, buddy. You do the same.
All right, take care. All right, that was Patrick Storm. Thank him for coming on. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Check us out on Texans Unfiltered. We're doing good things there. Y'all probably already. If you ain't, what you doing with your life? But yeah, man, that's been the stream. I gotta go. It's been longer than I thought it would be on here, but we talked about a lot of stuff. Did a big little update on the offseason. Rewatched it if you came in late. But yeah, man, hit the like button, subscribe. Appreciate the support, y'all. So what if Watson stays? We got our top 5 MVP quarterback back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, now I'm going to be going to sleep dreaming about Deshaun Watson throwing up fades to Nico Collins. Oh, God, Pat, why you got to do this to me, man? Why you got to do this to me? Don't get my hopes up. Nah, but all right, y'all. Take care, everyone. Come back for more. And remember, the film don't